Hey out there, all you viewers to play later, how we doing today? I know we're diving right back into, well, Conquest, the last argument of kings. And today we're taking a look at something kind of interesting. This is a faction taster for the Nords. Now, like I said, I'm looking at doing Nords, big Viking force, do it, a thematic force. And I gotta be honest, I really am at a game shape or gamer readiness. If those of you are old school like I am, you're used to when you're doing Warhammer Fantasy, the rack and stack, the trace, right, trace, everything's got to fit perfectly. I'm well out of shape on that because it took me a lot longer to put together 8 miniatures than it should have this weekend because they've got to fit on, I'll show you, they got to fit on a base and everything else. Now, what I like is for a very, very reasonable price, getting the adulting out of the way. Currently on Para Bellums web store, which I'll leave the link right down below. On Monday, November 28th, this faction taster is going to run you $54.99. Now, what I do like is they're currently running a special, which I thought was incredible. They are giving you away, while supplies last, their campaigns, Chronicle and Legends book. It's got a $32.99 value. There's a lot of cool info in here, and backstories, and game ideas, and thematic force ideas you can put together. For literally knowing next to nothing about the Conquest world, other than what I've seen on Play on Tabletop, this was amazing to get. So Para Bellums, thank you for doing those giveaways for your company. This was cool. Totally unexpected. Seriously, I was like, okay, I grabbed the faction taster, not even paying attention to the free stuff. Boom. I'm hooked. I'm seriously hooked. The other thing that's hooked me was the incredible shipping from Greece to the States. I think I got this from point of shipping to my front door in about 4 days. It came seriously via FedEx. So you get a Jarl, which is, your big commander. You get 4 Housecarls, which are your massive hitting machine. They just want to get in and do damage. They love to fight. They love to brawl. They just want to kick everyone's ass. And you get 4 Raiders. So I'm going to get to the miniatures here in a moment, but I wanted to pop the box open and show you. Because I just did a Mountain Jotnar video, and one of my big complaints was, put the freaking assembly instructions in the damn box. I don't want to go to a website to have to look it up. I just want to sit and go, here we go. Well, they've included assembly instructions. I thought that was great. Made me giggle after putting together my Jotnar. I'm like, fuck, let me see, let me go find these guys. And then I opened the box and I was like, cool. So, and there's how to assemble your Jarl. All right. My other complaint, just like with the Mountain Jotnar, where are you? I like the sprues, okay. It's great plastic miniatures on there, but when you're clipping them out, sometimes I feel like they're about to break. It's just the way certain things were, like with the Housecarl's axes. I seriously thought I was going to snap the axe in half, and it really was like, come on, I paid enough money for this. I like the fact they give you additional heads. And what we got here? Okay, that's for the Housecarls. As you can see, they're kind of in there. And I did they've got made in the USA when it was done. I think this sprue was made in 2020, it said. Yeah, 2020. This one was made in 2019 in the USA. And yeah, here's the Jarl. Made in Poland, 2021. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Now, what I like is, like I said, it's the rack and stack bases. So your 4 guys are going to fit on a base like that. Okay? So you've got to be careful about arm placement and all that fun stuff. Because these guys got to go together, and you're going to have ranks on either side, and forwards and backwards, like the old Warhammer Fantasy. Which, if Games Workshop killed fantasy from what I'm hearing, God, you guys are stupid. they do give you your cards for your deck. And I think that's cool, is you can see the QR codes, all right? You can scan that and you can have your stats pulled up right away. So unlike other miniature companies, you don't have to have 18 games and 90,000 apps and, you know, you're carrying a library with you. That's what you need. You can play the whole game with just that right there. I think that's totally cool. And yes, I need to get myself a rule book because I've watched a lot on Play On. I wanted to bring this in because this game really, really, really looks interesting. It's a company that seems to actually care about its customer base. And from what I understand, the history of, well, you know, Conquest is determined by us, the guys who are doing the battles, the guys who are helping out. Their living, breathing online community brings new stuff in all the time, and I think that's awesome. I like the artwork on there. I think that's kind of neat. It even helps inspire for a paint scheme. Because, like I said, I'm trying to go thematic. You know, like what would Vikings have used way back when, but keep it in a sci-fi fantasy kind of thing? Because, come on, you're going up against undead and spellcasters and everything else. You know, not, I am the great sorcerer, Tim. Which, by the way, if you caught my video of the Nords shaman, that's my sorcerer, Tim. But, you know, just like the Raiders, okay? Just like Vikings would get all tanked up and they'd get all hopped up on mushrooms and everything else and going into battle yelling and screaming and naked and... yeah, weird times. I know, weird times. But okay, let's get on to the miniatures. Because that's what any company worth a shit is about, is like the miniatures. Well, there's my Jarl. I got a good buddy, Dan. So this is Jarl Dan. And yes, I'm having a lot of fun naming characters after good friends. Because when you create a force, everybody's going to get a name, especially your characters. Some people earn them, some things happen. Like I remember when I had an orc force in fantasy, and I think the only guy that lived was a goblin shaman. So I made them all white, because literally the vampire accounts I think I was going up against scared the color right out of him, so he was all white. But yeah, so I really, to be honest with you, can't tell if that's supposed to be a stone figurehead or from his longship, but we're going to do that in stone. I like the detail work on here. It's going to be fun painting them. It really, truly is. Should I have maybe done it in assemblies, you know, in certain stages? Sure, but what fun is that? You know, I like how he's got his meat horn. Well, if you want to call it a meat horn, I don't know. It could be one of those... the war horns, I'm not even gonna try it. The big old blowing your war horn kind of thing. But still, it comes with the Jarl. Now this is the part that gets me. Okay, so here's the housecarls. This is what I'm talking about. The rack and the stack. Number one thing I'm going to tell you when you're putting your housecarls together, don't put the cloaks on like the instructions tell you to. Affix the back piece, then affix the front piece. Not affix the front to the back and then drop it over the top and hope it, you know, fits in there nice and snug. Because if not, you see how his is really flowing out the back? But yet his buddy over here, it's really snug and really, really up close. Yeah. This is why I like buying the taster. I got that experience before I invested a lot of money and possibly got upset. So I'm already used to it. I've already got some ideas planned for this. This is going to be kind of interesting, but there's the housecarls. And yes. I know we talked about the Raiders. So come here. There we go. Okay, notice the guy in front with the wide arms? That rack and stack. You're going to have to move people around. You're going to have to experiment what's going to fit in there. And you might want to do what I did, like when I did a Skaven Force. Write the number and write it on the base. That way you get the figure in the right spot every single time, not peeling people off and then going, oh, where did that go? Where did that go? But I like the detail work on the Raiders. Big, furry, half-naked dudes running into battle with axes and swords wanting to hack you up and get in your face and do damage. That's going to be fun. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do for the bases. That's why I didn't put any of the sand on there. I think I'm going to go with some GW technical paint and build it up from there. I don't know. I really want to have fun with this. because this looks really, really interesting. Like I said, it's really not played a lot in my area, so I'm gonna have to make it interesting so my son wants to get into it. So at least that way, like Floorhammer, we can at least do maybe different factions and beat the crap out of each other and have a little fun around the house. But, okay, so those are the miniatures, those are the everything else, and that's in the taster. Like I said, the campaign book was just a neat little add-on. I am really getting into what Para Bellum is doing. I really, truly am. Good quality miniatures, in my opinion, at a fair price. There's some of those that I'm not sure I'm going to touch until maybe around tax time, because I can't see spending like $80 for 3 figures for a Command Squad upgrade. I know they're resin, and I know resin's a little bit more expensive than plastic, and they're Command, and I know if it was GW, because there's some things in GW that are $40-50 for one single character. But yeah, so I know you may say it's unfair to compare the two, but you've had one who has been the monster in the miniature world forever. In my opinion, you have this company that's really up and coming. I like the fact that they have an affiliate program out there for people to help bring awareness and everything. I think that's really cool. So, I don't know, maybe one day if I grow a little more, I don't know, maybe I might apply. Might be interesting to have an affiliation with a miniature company. A table... Oh, man, dinner last night. Ooh, sorry. Like I said, have an affiliation with a miniature, tabletop board game. I don't know. But still, we're at the best part of the video for me. I want to know your ready questions, comments, love, hatred, anger, all that fun stuff right down below. Have you played Para Bellums, Conquest, Last Argument of Kings? What factions do you play? Do you have any advice for starting out a brand new force? Because like I said, I'm going Nords. I like the background. I like the theme work on the figures. I like the fact that I can do historical research and pull up Viking stuff and get great painting ideas. It's just, it's got the creative juices flowing again, And that's always a good thing. Now, if I made you laugh, made you cringe, made you cry, made you do any of that during this video, please hit that big old thumbs up. It's only going to show love and support for the channel, and that is always appreciated. But guys, there we are. Like I said, taking a look at Conquest, Last Argument of Kings, faction taster for the Nords. I want to thank all of you for watching this one. I hope you're having a great day today, a safe day today, and I hope one day to meet all of you across the tabletop.